Hello there, welcome to Nerd.World Films. If you haven't already, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Please comment down below, all that good stuff. If you're new to this channel, please watch the video. Do the same at the end if you feel like it. In today's video I'm doing another breakdown of 6 what I think are somewhat forgotten horror movies from just the past in general. And they're films that I think need a little bit more appreciation, a little bit more love. So let's get started on that. In at number 6 we've got Screamers, which stars Peter RoboCop Weller himself. He's fighting interplanetary war and he's stationed on another planet. While he's in the middle of this conflict, they try to negotiate a peace with the other side, and he's got to cross a hellscape to do it. While he's doing this, he discovers that the primitive robots that they sort of cobbled together in order to kill the enemy have become self-aware and now consider all humans to be their enemy. Somewhat familiar. And they make a screaming sound as they attack, which is part of their psychological warfare tactics. The film is stupid, dumb, enjoyable, and got RoboCop in it. Love it. In at number 5 we've got The Creature, a miniseries from 1993 that starred Kim Cattrall and Craig T. Nelson. It was based on a book by Peter Benchley and Rockne S. O'Bannon, who did Farscape, did some of the screenplay and teleplay for this thing. It's low budget, but it is fantastic. It's basically a mutant shark, which is a military experiment gone wrong, that's part shark, part human, so it's super clever and super dangerous, and they try and stop it from killing people. There you go, in a nutshell. It's not a thought-provoking piece of cinema, but I've seen it several times and it is so funny. I mean, brilliant. Especially when the shark, this is a bit of a spoiler, decides it's going to grow legs and start walking, and there is nothing on it. Think street sharks on steroids. That's what this thing looked like, and it was brilliant. In at number 4 we've got Society. I don't know what to say about this film. This is the craziest film I think I ever watched, with the most left-wing ending ever, which I'm not going to overly spoil even though the film's pretty old. A film is a horror, and it's basically about this kid who's adopted by his parents and he never really fits in. His dad's a bit of an ass, his sister's a bit of a queen bee. You know the usual story, and it's about him thinking there's something not quite right going on. He thinks there's a conspiracy or some other craziness going on in the background, until you get right to the end of the movie and it turns out that society means something very different. That he thinks they're aliens, but they all start kind of morphing, mutating and eating people, and it's just insane. And you can't tell if it's a work of genius or a work of lunacy, and that's what makes it so great. It has a huge cult following, and I remember watching it when I was in college and thinking, well, where did this ending just come from? What the hell just happened? Now for number 3 we have Chopping Mall, which I think the best description for this is short circuit on meth. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this film. I mean, the robots kind of look like the ones from Short Circuit as well. It's basically, very, very basically, robots get struck by lightning, come to life, and start killing people, executing their program literally to protect the shopping mall that they are tasked to protect. You better watch out for this, Japan. I've seen the robots you've got there. Very similar idea, bad idea. This film predicting the future, let's see. And then basically a load of teenagers with their forbidden nookie start dying. It's pretty straight formula for the 1980s, but it's brilliant, really brilliant. Then for number 3 is Event Horizon. Now I know this is a fairly well known film, but I know that a lot of people haven't seen it. I think it's somewhat overlooked, and as it gets older people are starting to forget about it. There's no sequels, it's a standalone movie, got Sam Neill in it, Lawrence Fishburne, and a stream of other very talented cast and crew that went into the production of this film. It explores themes of hell and demons and what is life. It's a masterpiece of both body horror and psychological horror, and does both really well, and it's an example of how to do a film just perfect. The atmosphere, the horror, the violence, the gore are all perfectly balanced. It's a fantastic film, and I've seen it so many times. I think I've had to rebuy it on DVD. It's just amazing. The very brief story is, it's an experimental starship that used a gravitational drive to create a shortcut through space to not technically move faster than light, but move outside of normal space-time, bring 2 points of space together using a very powerful gravity well, and then slip through the hole that's been created. And then basically you get to another system, but it doesn't work. The vessel disappears for 7 years and then reappears out near Neptune, and it turns out it's been somewhere that basically wouldn't not fit in the Warhammer universe. Kind of sounds like it went to the warp and encountered the Chaos Gods, and it came back different and twisted, a reflection of itself, a malevolent living ship, which then tries to kill the rescue team that is sent out to recover it. And that brings us to number 1, Wishmaster. I'm probably going to do a full video on this film at some point because it is one of my favourite horror movies. I can't even get into who this film stars. I mean, its main protagonist is Andrew Divoff, but you've got just a cast of everyone that was in every horror movie franchise ever in this thing as a little Easter eggs. Tony Todd as a security guard. You've got Kane Hodder as a security guard actually as well. You've got Freddy Krueger, otherwise known as Robert Englund, as a sort of pretentious douchebag. All these people are in it in little cameo roles. You've even got Angus Scrimm doing the voiceover. It's basically about a genie, a jinn, a true jinn, as in the Persian idea of a jinn, is awoken and then tries to get you to grant 3 wishes in order for it to be released, and its brethren to be released, and then to take over the earth. But it corrupts every wish you make and goes around killing people and doing all kinds of bad things in clever, inventive and messed up ways. The way it twists people's wishes into something that they didn't really want. Like someone wishes to have $1 million, so it kills his mother and he inherits $1 million. He got his million though, but it's just it's so good. I'm going to have to do a full film at some point. And that brings me to how I'm going to score these films. And this list hasn't been in any particular order of how good or bad these are, but I will give a quick score of each film individually. Screamers I give a 3, mostly because it's kind of so bad it's good, but it's ripped off themes and ideas from other movies. It is still good. The Creature gets a 3, mostly because again it's taking ideas from popular films and franchises right at the same time, and it doesn't really do anything new with them. It's just kind of ridiculous and fun. Society gets a high score. It's 4, but only because it's a bit of a slow burner. Up until that really mad, insane ending, the film's pretty standard fare. It's nothing remarkable. Chopping Mall gets a 5 just because it's beautifully crazy. Event Horizon and Wishmaster are both 6 because they're amazingly good films that don't need anything else saying about them. They're just awesome. That brings me to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe and comment. It all really helps out the channel. Please check out my other channel, Nerd.World. There's a link in the description below. And with that said, thanks for watching. Bye bye.